is a journey into sound.
Salutona Mikoi, welcome to this month's episode of Young Bureaucrat in Brussels. That's right, this is our last episode before the European elections. They are taking place next month, but you already know that because you pass by the European Parliament every day and you see the sign saying to put it in your agenda. So it's just a reminder that you are in the right place. You're going to be much more clear after today to know precisely in whom you should vote next month. 6 to 9, don't forget. Depends on the day, depends on the member state. What matters is that we are celebrating democracy. Here with us today, we have a climate activist. So this is a first in our podcast. I know it's a voice of civil society, and we should be inclusive to civil society as much as we are to anyone else. And we know that this is very true. It's very evident by the way the European Economic and Social Committee is valued by everyone in this town. So it's good that we can have civil society coming to us, giving us their ideas, and in the end, when we draft our legislation, we can add them in a footnote. So, hi.
Hi.
You're really into this environmental stuff, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay, you don't seem very convinced. Is it because it's not a very important topic?
Oh no, I guess it is important because, you know, it's about the survival of living things and protecting the ecosystem and making sure that future generations can still exist on this planet. But, you know, at the same time, I don't want to seem like I'm too into it. Like, I don't want to like come across like super, you know, I don't want to be pushy or anything. I just think survival is cool.
Okay, yeah, because I think that's something, it's good that you say that, because some kind of activists just don't get it. And like sometimes I just want to go about my life, you know, to be eating my lunch that I just got in Carrefour all wrapped up in plastic, because I really have no time as I'm drafting super important legislation, and I have to have some activists saying, oh my god, so much plastic.
Yeah, no, sure. And they are really good sandwiches as well. You know, they're definitely worth the sort of €5 or €6 that you're paying for the plastic wrap sandwiches. So I totally understand. But no, I wouldn't want to, you know, like impose my views on anyone about like survival and protecting different species. I don't want to force my way of life on anyone else. So I keep it quite low key.
And of course, don't get me wrong. I think that, I mean, after all, the European Green Deal just passed in the Commission, so it's proof that the environment and climate change is a very important issue. And I really think, I mean, I don't want to exaggerate, but I think it really might be almost as important as economic growth, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tricky one, isn't it? Because there are so many different things that are important, and you do have shareholder interests on the one hand, and, you know, producing more stuff so that we buy more stuff to keep the economy going in a sort of capitalist hellscape. On the other hand, you have, you know...
Hellscape? I thought you meant paradise there.
Yeah, sorry, you know, I my English isn't that good.
This is not a podcast in Soviet Russia. It's a podcast in, you know, in the garden.
Yes, and there it's hard to tell because there's so few plants in this garden. But no, there's a lot of different competing interests to balance. Like on the one hand, I want to protect the world for future generations. On the other hand, I also kind of want to just watch Netflix at home and like not do that. So it's tricky, yeah. But and as you say, there are businesses to think of. I mean, not businesses, corporations to think of.
Which are legal entities.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Right? So if law, the point of law is to protect legal entities, right? That's why we have law, to be fair. So if corporations are legal entities, then we should treat them as people with feelings and with interests.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, especially not, you know, Shell, Total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we just like, for example, I've been in a conference. I think it was in 2021 where we had Shell CEO speaking, and some activists came and started to scream that he's not saving the planet. What's going to happen to like his granddaughter? it's like, do you really, like, that's very low. Do you have to go that low? Do you have to, like, really criticize a man's family? He's doing everything he can to create profit for the shareholders. What more can you ask of him? Of course he cares about his granddaughter's future.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when it comes to defending human rights and livable futures, we have to ask ourselves, you know, when are we pushing it a bit too much? You know, when are we going a bit too far with justice and rights? And yeah.
And if you want to talk about justice, then talk about pieces of legislation like the Energy Charter.
Yeah.
No?
We left that,
Unfortunately.
sadly, for hurting the feelings of some legal entities.
Yeah, and yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, by coincidence, I also think it's the correct decision. Because in this case, in this particular case, I think it really aligns with my free thinking view about these issues, you know? Okay, let's go back on track. So, we're talking about it's almost as important as creating value to the shareholders.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, almost maybe depends, you know, maybe we don't have to exaggerate that much, but at least saving the planet, at least saving livelihood and protecting our cities from, like, the increase of the sea level, because, well, I mean, of course, if you talk about Lagos in Nigeria, you know, and, like, if everybody is living there, you are really asking for it, you know, so...
That's true. I chose where I grew up. I chose the town that I was born in. They gave me a form beforehand, and I chose somewhere that was specifically at sea level because I was a child and stupid. But you know, if you choose to live on the coast to make your livelihood, then what do you think is going to happen? That's Everybody knows when their ancestors choose a town to settle in, that in a few generations' time, they might have to move because of the impacts of climate change. So
it's cyclical. Like, climate change happens all the time. All this talk. We had Ice Age before. That's climate change as well, right?
Yeah, it is summer at least once a year.
Yeah.
It changes. The climate.
Right?
Yeah.
Yesterday was raining. Today is sun. So I thought climate change, which some people also call it global warming, to me they mean more or less the same, because I am very specialist in this topic. Well, as we all are, you know, in the EU bubble. And if it's global warming, then why are some days with 10 degrees? Have you thought about that? Because I think most activists didn't think about this.
That's a really good point. I've actually never considered that. I've never thought about the fact that there are cold days. Yeah.
Global warming, more like global scamming.
Yeah, because I wore a jumper the other day, and that just seems weird. That's a good point. I don't know. Yeah, and there are cold countries as well. How is there ice? When I go to a restaurant and I ask for ice in my drink, how are they able to provide that ice if the planet is so warm?
Yeah.
There's a lot of inconsistencies in climate action.
No, I think all these arguments, they miss a bit the point. And the point is, sure, okay, we can try to make, like, environmental practices. As we say, the European Green Deal is all about making the planet a perfect place for everybody, like literally every 8 billion people in the planet. It's going to work perfectly for everyone, for every human being, and make it very fair. Tell me a bit about this just transition idea. I heard a bit about this, but yeah, it's what we talked before. If you choose to live in Lagos, why should I be responsible to paying for you to continue to have a livelihood?
Yeah, good question. I mean, in general, you know, I don't advocate for caring about other people other than yourself, because
it's the almost economicus, right?
Yes, and because why would I do that? But yeah, sometimes when we're brainstorming some new phrases to protest about, and we were sort of just spitballing, and we came up with the just transition, because I thought it meant, you know, like just transition already as a kind of call to action. But then I understood that it's actually about having a transition that is also fair, which is, you know, it's tricky, because on the one hand, you could just transition and, like, you know, finally have a city full of EVs and Teslas, as we've all been hoping for, and we could just have super expensive gentrification of like super energy efficient homes. And that's personally what I've always been going for, is more unaffordable housing, fewer people in work.
Fewer people, fewer emissions, right?
Fewer emissions, people on the other side of the planet, just, busy with their own thing, like, saving their villages from the water rather than asking us for help. But some people have said maybe we should all help each other, which obviously is very idealistic. And but what can you say? We're young, like a lot of us climate activists, we're quite young and sort of naive.
I think that's the caveat here, because we are asking, but it's not your fault at all. It's society that, for example, see the case of Greta Thunberg. There is clearly a lot of lobbying behind her.
Yeah.
How can someone so young talk about these topics? She should be in school studying how the Swedish government is amazing and how colonialism is a myth.
Yeah.
That's what she should be doing in school. Instead, she's protesting and gathering people around. There's gotta be some like new world order like type of lobby behind that just wants kids to fight for a healthier and greener planet. I'm really convinced about this, honestly.
Yeah, it's like the sort of far right might say, all the kids are on the street, and then you look, well, the classrooms, they're empty, so nobody's getting an education. All these young people protesting for a livable future. That's everything that's wrong with society. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And historically, when students protest, we know that they are on the wrong side of society.
Yeah, otherwise it wouldn't be so illegal.
Yeah, and if it's illegal, it means it's immoral.
Yeah. If it's illegal, it must be bad. That's what they tell me. But I'm not very good at telling right from wrong, so.
Well, that must be because of your age, but it's okay.
It's okay. I'll learn with time. With enough jail sentences, I hope one day I'll stop protesting for climate action.
Oh, if I knew you had been involved in legal stuff and jail and stuff, this podcast is a serious podcast, so yeah.
And I'm not a serious person.
No, you are.
Yeah.
Of course. And I'm not gonna have a disclaimer in the end telling my listeners that after all you're not, and publish it without you knowing about it. Of course that you are a serious person, Yes. It's just that, we have a certain level here. I don't know if you know, I don't know if people back home know, but I went to the College of Europe. I know it's not very popular for people here in the EU bubble, but I went into the College of Europe. So I'm used to a certain level, of like, let's say a level of class, but class with a French pronunciation, like class,
Yes.
And but I think it's good that we opened our door to civil society people to come expose their ideas. I think it's always better to talk with a young Eurocrat in person.
Yeah, I know. I think it's good you invited me to represent all of civil society and every NGO and every grassroots movement. Someone's got to do it.
Totally, someone's got to do it.
Only one person, yeah.
Exactly. No, and that's the thing, again, that's also the thing about Greta Thunberg, because if you do an action, you should assume that like society will interpret it as representing the group. Mm-hmm. It's the same that we do when there is a police case of abuse of violence on a bike. Sorry. In that case, it's a specific policeman, because we cannot judge.
You can't paint them all with one brush. Just because one policeman is using violence and illegal tactics, and also another policeman somewhere else and another policeman somewhere else, doesn't mean that every single... If you look hard, you find some police officers that aren't doing that.
Yeah.
Don't generalize.
And people are not perfect, so you cannot generalize the whole group based on a few bad apples, right?
Exactly.
But with climate activists, I think it's a total different story, So in that case, in that case, clearly you need to understand the big picture, and big picture is that there must be some new world order controlling these protests. Because think about it, why are you doing a protest that's gonna be so annoying? Can you just do like a change.org petition?
Well, the thing is, we're not very good with tech, so we try the digital petitions, but I find it really difficult because then I share it on Facebook, and nobody fills in the petition, only my great aunt.
It's
So-
it's a start.
It's a start, but I get really confused with all the social media stuff, the sort of Insta talk and the Facegram. So I prefer to just go and shout in a street because everyone else is doing that, and I don't want to be left out. So that's going to make the change happen. But it's okay. I can still speak on behalf of everyone. We're like a hive mind. That's why we collaborate together so effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, clearly it's been no. I mean, we can see it's effective. We can see we have the voice in, but sometimes you just need to let me put it this way, let the people that know, the people that all these years have been doing such a great job in saving the planet, the people in power, like the grown-ups,
Yeah.
let grown-ups do their job, because otherwise, like talking about young people that never had a political role, never had like a decision-making role, so it's people that have a completely different mindset about societal problems and casting things in a different way. No, let people that have already proven how they think, already proven how good they are doing their job, solve the problems that they themselves created.
That's true. I think with time I will come to learn that this level of sort of dissatisfaction with everyday life and the sort of skyrocketing anxiety and depression and mental health
But
problems,
young people nowadays are always,
that we're always whining about. I think I'll come to realize that's actually aspirational. The whole not knowing if there will be a career for me, or if there will be any jobs, or if I'll be able to afford a house one day. That's kind of that's what I should want. I think that's what I was failing to grasp it before.
and you pull yourself from the bootstraps.
Yeah, like it's all about mindset. With the right mindset, you can afford any rent, and you can get any job, even the ones that don't exist. If some people in power did this, then I should do the same. And luckily, they've also given us a set of rules about exactly how and when we can protest to make sure that we're the least disruptive possible. So that's really kind of them, because now we can make sure that we protest without having any tangible effect on anybody.
That's because you're living in a very free society,
Yeah, exactly.
If you were living in one of like these countries where like you cannot protest that the police starts charging you with illegal tactics, you'd be in a country like France, China, but you live in a very free country.
Yeah. Good free countries come with rules and police crackdowns to maintain our freedom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing screams more freedom than limiting people protest behaviors.
Exactly. They're defending other people's freedom. Not mine. I don't need any.
Well, I mean, the freedom of everyone in general is the freedom of all of us individually, and this is what we should trust.
Freedom is a state of mind.
Also,
Yeah. It's so do you really need it in person? Like if we're getting down to it?
and I think young people don't understand, it's a common misconception, but freedom may have the word free in the name, but it's not free. Think about it.
That's true. Because if we want this economy to stay afloat, we've got to keep buying, and everything comes with a price, including your happiness.
It's like Katy Perry said, it's a price tag.
Yes. Or like she said, do you ever feel like a plastic bag? Because I do. Because I see
You do?
quite a lot of them flying around in the street. Plastic.
And do you feel like, but how does it like to make you feel? Do you feel a connection with those plastic bags? Do you like go for a coffee with them?
I do feel like a plastic bag because I'm drifting, wanting to start again because I like recycling. So we have something in common. Yeah, and Katy Perry is in fact one of our spokespeople.
I think that being a plastic bag, if it means that you can just be floating in the middle of the Pacific with good weather, good beaches, what's wrong with it?
Yeah, and I don't think we stop to ask ourselves, do plastic bags resent not being able to start again? I think this is why we need to crack down on plastic pollution, because every plastic bag has the right to start over as something else.
Okay, that's a better reason. Okay,
Yeah.
that reason I can understand a bit better.
Yeah,
And
maybe they will be legal entities one day.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I guess we have to wait and see. This is this month's episode. Thank you so much for coming. Do you have any final remarks? Any, call for action? Any whatever it is that you climate activists like to do?
If you want to help save the planet, that's cool, but like no worries if not.
Okay. It's I think it's diplomatic. It's to the point. It's great. Thank you guys, and see you to comment the results of the most important election of the year. And yeah, take care.